What's up, guys? So if you're clicking this video, you already know what you're getting, right? New tier list. It's been a while since I made the last one. Also, you guys might notice that my mic quality should be a little bit better than it has in previous videos. Yeah, let's get right into it. I'm not going to be really going super in depth on characters, but I'm splitting this into multiple videos so I can at least explain every placement to some extent. Another thing though is this is ordered, but the ordering doesn't matter too much. Maybe it does in the high tier section in particular. But in the other tiers, yeah, like if a character is like at the top of a tier, I don't think they're much better than the character at the bottom of a tier. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it, starting from bottom to top. So first of all, Mac. This character just kind of stinks. There's no other way to say it. Like, there's no character in Ultimate that's truly awful, but at the same time, you are hindering yourself if you play Mac, and that is just a fact. Too many weaknesses, like loses hard to just kind of like proper platform camping, and it feels like it's a mini game within this game. Next up is Gandalf, and the thing about Gandalf, he's funny. He's not even that bad. Like, in some ways, he has really nice buttons. He's really scary. It's just always gets put off stage and dies, juggled. As you're approaching, he has all his normal heavyweight problems. I almost feel like he's a heavyweight that like Sakura uses as like a base to decide, alright, we're making a heavyweight, but how we making him different from Ganondorf and better. Next up, Isabelle. This character is just the result of, I don't even know. I don't think the devs knew exactly what they wanted to do with her playstyle. So they kind of threw a lot of things together with like Village's moveset, but then like the fishing rod and her setup with the landmine. Then a lot of her moves are just not that good. Like, the landmine is super weak compared to what it should be. The fishing rod can have so much more potential. And things like forward air, back air, having really obvious weaknesses, and they can just clank through them because they're very weak projectiles, except for up close. The combo game is nice in her though. Like with some of her tilts, she has some decent smashes too. Being small is nice, but then her attributes, she's too light, she's too slow. Incineroar is kind of similar to like Ganondorf and Mac. He's too like exploitable and disadvantaged. He's very slow. I will give him credit. His hitboxes are nice, but like you're just playing a losing matchup versus almost any like zoner, sortie, even versus like other heavyweights and brawler characters. Well, I think he's fine there. I don't think he excels. So I'm just like, with how defensive Ultimate could be at a top level especially, I look at Incineroar and go, oh, he's just gonna struggle versus like correct lane play. Now really is just straight up. He is a character with extremely good buttons when he gets going. Like, Nair is good, forward smash is good, his tilts are solid. But another character where it's like the attributes are just too much, too big, not heavy enough for his size, even though he's still decently heavy. He is pretty fast on the ground, which is nice, but he's just such a big target. And in the air, he's very slow. Even with the multi-jumps, it's like not enough compensation. Combined with the fact that his out-of-show game is really poor, so if you start pressuring him, it's a problem, and like he just kind of ends up not being that good versus a lot of stuff. And then Bowser Jr. is a weird character to put here right now, because I don't even think the character is like super bad. I'm gonna bump him up over here. He's like bad, kind of. Like he has stuff. He's just like this weird and unholy combination of like Sonic and then like a zoner and kind of a sortie. But a lot of his stuff works against him. Neutral B's too slow. Down B can be used against him because it's so slow. His recovery, his mechanic with taking like less damage on like his I think it's like his carp. I think like his head takes more damage. This character has a lot of these like tools that feel like just bad versions of what they could be. Like his entire kit can be buffed a little bit across the board, except for smashes, and he'd still feel like this character with no true identity and like solid game plan. Really, like he just suffers versus almost every character in some way. Even though he's also pretty well handled, so give him that. He's not like Mac or Ganondorf where his weaknesses are just extremely exploitable. Now Puff's weird. She by all intents and purposes should be bad, right? And she definitely is. But being really fast in the air and having multi-jumps with that, along with her ability to rack up damage and kill on certain starters is insane. Like rest setups, like with Pound, down air, her edge guarding is nutty, and like she started to hit if she wants to be playing super passive with air movement. So that keeps her like the bottom tier for me because she's a lot scarier than these characters, I'd say. Large because her neutral is a bit more functional. but that's not saying much. And then Bland's a character where I'm just like, I mean, I don't feel, he's got like Bowser Jr. where it's like, I don't feel like he has like quite a solid game plan. Now he has a bit more of a like defined like I think game plan with neutral B and back air than Bowser Jr. He has some really powerful stuff like up smash and down B. But I feel like almost any character can exploit the holes in neutral B, in his neutral, not having like one particularly spammable move they can just control space with. And you need a way to control space in this game consistently. Which brings us to Zelda. Zelda is this character who controls space very well with Phantom, and then the rest of her kit is super weak to compensate for Phantom being so good. And then when she uses Phantom and Scar for a bit, it hurts her a lot. If she had slightly better normals, if like her boxing tools, like her jabs or tilts, are slightly better, if her aerials were not so bad on hit, even if you don't get the sweet spot, that helped her a lot. Like let's say forward air, sour spot, was like strong enough on hit to knock someone away and not get punished. That'd be a big deal. Or if you could just space with something in the air a little bit more, because like forward air and back air can be used, but they're too precise. Just give her some sort of boxing tools, and she honestly rises up to like here. But she always feels like incomplete currently. Alright, Doc. I mean, I feel weird about saying this like over 2 years into Ultimate's lifespan, because like there should be more development for the character, but why play Doc when you have Mario? Like, yeah, Doc's pills are better. He does have some hard-hitting moves. He has some really nice ways to kill you off like down tilt and down throw near the ledge. But it's just mobility. Mobility is so important in Smash. And whenever you're lacking mobility and not like a crazy gimmick or hitboxes or something to make up for it, that is a problem. And then you have Lucas. Lucas just suffers from so many things. Poor shield game. Hitboxes aren't that great. He has okay pressure with like forward air and some of his tilts. Really just forward air. It's nothing great. Like he has an okay zoning game with side B, but he gets outclassed there. He has an okay spacing game, but the hitboxes don't cover like diagonals well enough. He's pretty good at like the two framing and pretty solid at edge guarding and ledge trapping, I'd say as well. But it's nothing like super special. It's not like Banana, which like can carry the ledge trapping, or like Meat Gunner with like grenades. Like it's fine, but it's not broken enough to justify his basically lackluster neutral and really lackluster ability to get people off of him when he's shielding too much or when he's getting comboed. And now back to mobility is key, and you know who does not have that? Yeah, Kirby. He has multiple jumps, sure. His small size is really nice, I give him that. It lets him like fish for parries and be really annoying to hit and like approach. But he also struggles to approach a lot. He's also very lightweight, and that's a huge deal in this game, because like, if you're struggling to approach, but like you can make up for it by being hard hitting and like being able to take hits when you're approaching, alright, you can make it work maybe. But Kirby just can't afford to make many mistakes, and he has to overextend in order to approach people. And Meta Knight, honestly, this might be a bit of an under placing for me. Maybe he's like actually around here, honestly. But I kind of think it's like Kirby, where he's just too lightweight for his difficulties in approaching. And he is fast on the ground, to give him that. But like his ground approach game and spacing, he doesn't really have a spacing game, right? Like tilts, his aerials don't really work that well for spacing. So he's kind of forced to go in and take guesses. And with how many characters can just like do spaced aerials and projectiles and even safe space tilts. And he's pretty easy to combo due to his fall speed. It's like, yeah, it's just too risky. And then like from the air, there's a lot of gimmicky approach options. Like his specials that are super punishable. And he's basically just too much of a risky character. Even if his reward can be very good on certain hits. Which require really good precision and optimization to make the hits worth it anyway. ICs are just, eh. ICs would be good in a lot of Smash games, honestly, in their current state. But the problem is, they're a touch of death-ish character in a game where most of the cast can take stocks off like 2 to 3 neutral interactions at high level. And then Nana is such a problem. Like Nana is a huge liability that even though this character can be scary with their desyncs, with their pressure, with their combos, they have like decent frame data. Like Nana being so easy to kill, character being lightweight in general, the character being very slow, and having like okay hitboxes, like there's some disjoint, but they're not exactly long. And, like this character doesn't really stand out in a way that matters in Ultimate. But at the same time, it's like if this character was in like, say, well, this character was in Brawl, and they were busted because that game was less like hit someone once and kill you based. And then you have DK. he's a meme, right? Like, every time a DLC character comes out, can we zero death DK? There's some truth to the fact that he gets hit and gets blown up too hard, right? He's got some hitboxes, he's got some frame data, he's got really nice stuff off his grabs. Sure, you got all these things, but it isn't like... It doesn't compensate for how bad his weaknesses are. He's just a big body who has to throw out his limbs and hit people. And in Ultimate, it's really hard to make that work with all the projectiles and sorties and characters with crazy good combos, edge guarding, ledge trapping, juggling. It's susceptible to all of them. So yeah, that is the low tier, guys. And next video will be the lower mid tier, so hope you guys check that out in a couple days.